Within the borders of Pyongyang, the private lives of the Kim family are effectively hidden from the world. For decades, the regime has maintained a strict wall of silence around its inner circle. For the first 10 years of his rule, Kim Jong Un's children existed only as rumors. They were never seen in public, never mentioned by state media, and completely omitted from the official record. The first confirmation of their existence came from a highly unlikely source. In 2013, basketball veteran Dennis Rodman returned from a trip to North Korea and revealed that he had held the dictator's baby daughter, a girl named Jue. Despite that leak, her childhood remained a complete blank. She was raised inside high-security luxury estates, shielded from the population she may one day rule. This history of total invisibility is what makes her sudden, high-profile appearances so significant. The regime has broken its own rule of silence, and that suggests a shift in the state's long-term strategy. In 2022, the secrecy ended. State media released images of Kim Jong Un holding hands with his daughter during her first-ever public debut. The setting for this introduction was jarring. They were standing directly in front of a weapon of mass destruction. By placing a child at a strategic nuclear test, the regime is visually tethering the next generation to the country's most important military asset. This signals a transition that is intended to be permanent, suggesting the leadership is looking much further into the future than they have before. That sudden focus on the future may be driven by Kim Jong Un's own physical condition. Heavy drinking, a chain-smoking habit, and a family history of fatal heart disease have raised significant questions about his longevity. If the leader believes his window of stability is shrinking, the need to publicly establish an heir becomes a matter of survival for the dynasty. Kim Jong Un knows the cost of an unstable transition. He was thrust into power in 2011 after the sudden death of his father, becoming the world's youngest head of state at the time. While the handover looked orderly, Kim spent his first years violently consolidating power, purging senior generals and family members to eliminate rivals. Those struggles taught him that authority must be isolated and a successor undeniable before a power vacuum forms. He is now using his own rise as a blueprint, carefully engineering his daughter's public image today so she doesn't have to fight the same internal wars tomorrow. To understand this grooming process, intelligence analysts look past the photos and study the specific roles Jue is being asked to play. She is being positioned as a figure of military authority, often seen in the black leather coat reserved for the elite, and seated in positions of honor above the nation's top generals. Beyond the military, the regime is weaving her into the state's foundational mythology. State media has recently linked her to the White Horse, the most sacred icon of the Kim family's ancestry, to signal that her right to rule is divine. She is also gaining a diplomatic footprint, accompanying her father to meetings with the world's most powerful leaders. This includes appearances alongside the leadership of China and high-level diplomatic meetings with the president of Russia. By integrating her into military life, into their national mythology, and international diplomacy, the regime is systematically transforming a child into a credible commander-in-waiting. This path to power faces a major cultural hurdle. North Korea is a deeply patriarchal society with a leadership history that has been exclusively male. But the precedent for female power has already been set by Kim's sister, Kim Yo-jong, who has become one of the most influential figures in the regime's administration. The ultimate rule of North Korean politics is that direct lineage is the most important factor in the hierarchy, often outweighing traditional gender roles. Because she is a direct descendant of the Baekdu bloodline, her status as an heir is protected by the very system her family created. There is, however, one final technical challenge to the succession plan involving the Kim family name itself. In North Korean culture, children take the surname of their father. If Jue were to marry and have children, her heirs would technically not carry the Kim name. Under current rules, this would mean the official end of the dynasty as it has been known for 3 generations. But Kim Jong Un wields absolute power. If he chooses to rewrite the naming conventions of his country to permanently keep the throne in his daughter's hands, there is simply no institutional force left to stop him. Jue could be a temporary propaganda tool used to present a softer image of the regime during difficult times. Or she could be exactly what the evidence suggests, a meticulously groomed successor. Regardless of the motive, the speed of her rise is undeniable. The world must now consider the very real possibility of North Korea's first female dictator.